Hey there, and welcome to the premiere episode of my new YouTube series, Let's Gay 1994. We're gonna gay the shit out of 1994 on this show, starting on January 1st, 1994. I'm basically going to go and hopefully maybe start covering daily throughout 1994 everything that came out that I was watching, that I was reading. Very comprehensive. Kind of like, you remember that show, I Love the 80s and I Love the 90s on VH1? It's kind of the same thing, only way more comprehensive. I probably won't talk as much about like news stories and shit, but the way I watch TV is kind of bizarre, where I live in 1994 basically here. And so everything I'm watching, I have like a list of everything, a whole schedule that I watch of everything that's airing in 1994. And I'm including soap operas, I'm including all my comics, I'm including sitcoms, dramas, you name it, I'm fucking watching it. Unless I can't find it. But I try to be as thorough as possible. And now that I've slowed down, I was really obsessive about it, trying to watch it in real time. Like on January 1st, I was watching everything that was on January 1st, 1994. That's impossible to keep up with. If I want a social life, if I want to work, I can't do that. And then also do a podcast, which is what I was doing. I was recording a lot of episodes of a podcast I was doing, but not doing anything with it. So I decided to finally just start doing something with it on my YouTube channel, my Let's Gay channel. So instead of calling it what my podcast was called, if I had a podcast in 1990 or 1994, it's Let's Gay 1994. So we're gonna gay 1994. And let's just hop right into the January 1st, 1994. It's obviously New Year's Day, so we just had New Year's Eve, 1993, and let's see if I can do this. This is my test pilot episode. It might be a little wonky, but I'm trying to learn how to use my technology as a geriatric 43-year-old. But yeah, just to let you know, like I was 10, 11, 1994. I was almost 11. But I was still technically 10 on January 1st, 1994. I probably spent my New Year's up in Knoxville. That's where I lived during the holidays and stuff with my father. But let's get started though. So it was New Year's, obviously, right? So we had our New Year's Eve happy rockin' New Year's Eve. I don't know if that's the logo from, what does it say? TWC Classics? I'm not sure what this is from. This is just some shit I got offline, a graphic. But obviously we probably watched Dick Clark because he was still on TV in 1994. So that's what we were watching on New Year's Eve. But it was a Saturday. So we had Saturday morning cartoons on New Year's Day, which is probably what I was more concerned with than New Year's Eve itself. But there wasn't a lot of new stuff. And I don't watch every single thing. It's kind of impossible to keep up with everything. And some stuff I just don't like. And I'm going to have some hot takes, such as, I think I've already mentioned this on one of my stupid Let's Gay video game channels, that I'm not a fan of the Batman the Animated Series. I don't know if it aired on Saturday mornings, but I had to stop watching it because I was so bored with it. Y'all, it's so acclaimed. Everyone loves the shit out of that show. It put me to sleep. I could not pay attention. It's just so boring. I'm sorry. It just fucking is. It's beautifully animated. It is got an incredible score, and I'm a big music geek when it comes to my shows, but I would much rather be watching Eek the Cat. I love Eek. Who doesn't love Eek the fucking cat, okay? He's so nice. He's the kind of guy you want to marry. He's so wonderful and loving and oh, he's just the best. And I love it. So I've been watching Eek the Cat, which I sort of watched when I was younger on Fox Kids, but it was most of the shows that were on Fox Kids in the morning were painful for me to watch just because I could not wait for them to get to X-Men. And it was just like, come on, Tick, get over with. I want to watch the X-Men. I was like on the edge of my seat, excited. I could not wait for X-Men to start. Didn't matter if it was a rerun. I don't care. That's what I'm there for. Or the hope that maybe there's a new one this week, because back then you didn't know. It was just like, is there a new one? Sometimes they'd advertise. Half the time they wouldn't. So you'd just be like, oh, it's a rerun. Oh, it's new. And I'd have my VHS recorder in there. I'd be recording it. But Eek the Cat was just one of those shows I hated just because I had to sit through it to get to the X-Men. But with X-Men aside, Eek is a great show. I love Eek the Cat, as I said, and the episode that aired on the 1st was all about Babs, which is actually, I don't even believe it is a Eek episode. I think that's a terrible Thunderlizards episode. Um, where so Eek was probably a repeat, I'm guessing, and then the second segment or first, I don't know how it aired, uh, was Terrible Thunderlizards, which this episode I'm using Wikipedia, my best friend, when trying to figure out when shit airs and stuff. And there's gonna be some discrepancies here, especially with like stuff like Roundhouse. I can't figure out when that shit aired. I also use this website called Nick Story, which is really useful. But anyway, back to Eek the cat. All about Babs, Terrible Thunderlizards. A dinosaur scientist create a female human they call Babs, bioengineered animated biped specimen, as a lure for Bill and Scooter so the Thunder Lizards can trap them. However, the more intelligent Babs has her own agenda as the Thunder Lizards come under attack by Thugosaurs. So, the Terrible Thunder Lizards isn't my favorite segment. I much more prefer Eek, but it is notable for having a voice actor that I love who voices Snot on American Dad. So he's in this. If you love him, look up Eek, or Terrible Thunder Lizards. And then also, I think Charlie Adler does other voices in it too, who I love. He did Buster Bunny, he did Cow and Chicken. He's just brilliant, and I love him to death. So that is our Eek the Cat episode that we had on the January 1st, 1994. Next up, there was no new episode of X-Men, but as I mentioned, that's what I was here for. And I forget where I found online, there was a website that had like all the Fox Kids programming listed there. And I think it indicated that this was an hour-long segment on the first, maybe for New Year's or something, that I'm guessing aired Till Death Do Us Part 1 and 2 in a like 1 hour segment. Occasionally they would do that because X-Men was so successful, obviously. And if you're watching X-Men 97 like me, hopefully you were also a fan of the old show, which I think is the superior show. I'm sorry. Animation is obviously not as good, but the music, you can't beat the music on this show. That's why I'm really irritated that X-Men 97 kind of uses the theme song, but barely uses any of the character themes. Storm had a great one. Gambit had a little one that would kind of, you'd hear it. It's not as like exciting as Storm's, but Wolverine had his. You know, all of them had a sorry. All of them had a theme, and it was great. And they were iconic and awesome, and I really miss that about that show. As the show went on, the music got worse and worse. The animation got worse and worse. The episodes just got worse and worse. That was a sad thing about the original X-Men show. But that first season into the second and even into the third were still some solid shit. So I'm guessing this was Till Death Do Us Part 1 and 2 that aired today. I don't know for a fact, but who the fuck cares? Just if you're looking to watch it, go on Disney Plus and watch it. However, I don't think Iona Morris is on the Disney Plus version, so go get the DVDs. I'm a big Iona Morris fan. We'll get into that later in a future episode. So anyway, that is what happened for X-Men. Nick at Night, apparently this day. I would have thought this would have been on New Year's Eve they would have done this, but according to Nick's story, which I was going to, yes, bring that up with my technical wizardry. This is the website I used. Look at this. It's got like a list of everything that aired that day. And Nick apparently on New Year's Day did their classic countdown of 1993. As a kid, I was probably really pissed because I wanted to watch SNICK. It's Saturday fucking night. In 1994, where's my SNICK? No, you've got to watch classic countdown 1993 for Nick at Night. So, I mean, now I would actually probably love to watch this, but back then I did not enjoy it. So that's what was airing on Nick instead of SNICK. We got Nick at Night all fucking day. But let's take that back away and continuing on with anything new on January 1st, 1994. My fucking favorite show that I never watched in 1994, but I'm watching it now. Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. It's my guilty pleasure, y'all. I love Dr. Quinn. I'm such an old lady, but it's like a comfort. I love her. It's kind of like, it reminds me a little bit of Little House on the Prairie, which I also really love. I've only seen like maybe the first season or two of Little House on the Prairie, and I never watched it as a kid, but as an adult, I started watching them because I'm so obsessed with old shit. I don't watch anything new. I work in TV and I don't fucking watch anything fucking new. Not that makes me sound more important than I am. I'm a stand-in, but I I love Dr. Quinn though, and I love Jane Seymour who plays Dr. Quinn, and of course Sully is a hot fucking babe who I actually first discovered the actor. I can't remember his name, but he was in um this really shitty show called Higher Ground. Does anyone remember that one? I think it was like 2000, 2002 when it aired, something like that. And it had Hayden Christensen in it, playing a troubled teen at this like camp for troubled teens, or it's like a facility in the mountains. Higher Ground, get it? And Sully was in that show, but he had short hair, was super fucking hot, and it was on like Fox Family Channel or some shit. And that was my introduction to Sully. He's the babe. He's one of my babes of 1994 or 3, because we haven't barely gotten into 1994. But if you remember, I love the 80s and I love the 90s. I think they had their babes of 1990 whatever, and so I'll be stealing a lot of ideas from them going through my show. But Dr. Quinn is so good. I I love it. I look forward to it every week that I watch it, if I can keep up weekly. But the episode that aired was Crossing the Line, which is an episode in which the silver miners strike, and Matthew's eager to take a scab job mining for the quick cash, but with disastrous results. And this wasn't my favorite episode, but of course, Matthew is Dr. Quinn's son, and he goes to work in the mine. And then, of course, the cheap-ass people in charge of the mining that don't want to pay the workers a fair wage, they don't, upkeep the mine. Like they don't care about safety. So of course the mine collapses, and there's got to be some sort of medical crisis every episode, or else what does Dr. Quinn have to do? So she rushes to the mine, and she's worried because it's her adopted children, but her children nonetheless. And she rushes to the mine to save Matthew, and I think she goes into the mine with Sully, and he's stuck under, of course, like a beam or something. And the water's gonna flood, so they've got to get him out quick. And I don't think that, of course, they didn't have to remove his leg, but I think there was talk of maybe having to cut him out. But of course, they save him, and everything works out. I think people did die, but of course, no contract characters. But anyway, that's it for Dr. Quinn. It's my fucking guilty pleasure, and I love her. I love the cast, the whole show. It's just great. The little kid that's in it, he's like this little boy that's her youngest son, is so good and so cute. And I anytime a child actor is really talented, I'm just impressed. And the kid in this is super cute and talented. Because if they can't act, it takes you out of the fucking show, and you're just thinking, this kid can't act. But this kid can. So I believe it's 1870 whatever it is. And Dr. Quinn is really a doctor. And it's such a guilty pleasure. Love it. So that's it, though, for this day. I was going to do weekly updates, but clearly I yammer on enough that it needs to be daily. My podcast, when I was doing it, I would go on for 3 fucking hours. I can't fucking do that. These files will be enormous. So that concludes my very first episode. I hope you enjoy it, and maybe can... I feel so alone with the way I watch TV, because I'm watching Dr. Quinn for the first time. I'm watching a million shows for the first time, like X-Files. And I have no one to talk to about it. Because no one else is watching TV like I do, where I'm living through 1994. So I'm actually like almost done with January, and I will probably get way far ahead of my show, but hopefully it'll still be fresh enough on my mind that I can discuss it and have really awful opinions about it. So come back tomorrow when we cover January 2nd, 1994 on Let's Gay 1994.